All right, so here I am in Illustrator. I started with this font selection, and I've modified it. I gave myself, I created outlines for the E, L, D, and A, so that I can make them tilted as an italic, because that wasn't built into the font, and so that I can customize this A a little bit to not be so weird on the bottom. And now I am merging these changes together in my A. So that it matches side to side, like so. Yeah, and I like how they're just a little bit wonky. But if I want to work with those, I'm going to merge those two together, have every other layer locked, hold down Shift and link those two, and then I can use the Pathfinder, right, to combine those together into one vector. And then if I want to modify them further, I can use various pen tools. So I'm going to use Delete Anchor Point tool, get rid of these on both sides. Then I'm going to use this just to bow out that side a little bit on each side. And then you can customize just to any extent. So I'm going to take this point and just move it up to this line. Move that handle down and just let that handle be, hold down Shift, be about there. No, I don't even want it that much. Let's see. Yeah, so that looks nicer. Okay, now I like it on that side. I want to make this side match. So what do I do again? I select it all. I'm just going to redraw it just enough so I can line up this other edge. I'm going to keep losing that, so I'm not even going to redraw it. So here I have this, then I'm going to say copy, Command C, then I make a new layer. Whoops. Then I say paste in place. Whoops. Onto the new layer. That's going to be purple on yellow. I can get rid of the old green one I used before I merged. Now I'm going to take that purple layer and I'm going to flip it on its axis by using Object Transform Reflect. Reflect it vertically. And now on that layer, I am going to erase this side to reveal what was underneath. See, and then on this layer, I'm going to erase the other side to reveal what is underneath, so that my A can match. So there we go. Then I'm going to select both of those layers, holding down Shift, use the Pathfinder tool, and then I'll be done with the A, and merge them. Good. I can get rid of that now blank layer 5. So customization is very important to making it work exactly for your purpose. I'd like to save it now, and once Illustrator catches up with me, I will be able to. But there are other reasons why it's really helpful to do the text tools within Illustrator. And the most helpful in my mind is you don't always want text to just line up on a horizontal or on a vertical. Sometimes you want it to do something a little bit more interesting. And I'm worried that Illustrator is being weird right now. Oh no. Yes, it just crashed on me. So let's see what it can remember of what I did. But I will show you the next advantage of it. So I had saved my work before I had done a lot of that, but not after I had customized my A, and never finished customizing my A. And I saved it as a working file, as an AI file. So here it is. So it's just before my last customizations. So I will fix the A again, but for now, let me save it where it is. Good. Now I'm going to show you the other reason I like to build type in Illustrator with the type tool. So now I want to do airlines underneath, right? Thinking I want to start it about there. I want it pretty big. And what font do I want to use? Let's see, it was Italian cursive that I was most interested in using. And all lowercase. And let's see if they allow me to do italic. No, indeed. But we know how we can get around that, but just not right now. So in order to work with the spacing, I'm going to build a space in between, right? And I can do that just like I did with Zelda. But what if I don't want Italian Airlines to be on a flat horizontal? What if I want it to be on something that's kind of curvier and more fun? I'll show you how you can try multiple approaches. So I'll try it here with 6-point spaces in between each letter form. Remember, you can type in values too. I'm just using 6 because it's the lowest on the drop-down, the smallest on the drop-down. Okay, so that's one option. And of course, I'll have to fix what the L does and everything. Now, what if I copy that? Command-C, make a new layer, lock the ones before, and then paste it in. Command-V. So I have a duplicate now. But now, instead of it being on a flat line, what if I use, under the type tool, I say the type on path tool. If I draw a path, and I'll just use the pencil line, and let's try it, let's see what would work well. Something subtle like that. I draw a path, it's not going to be filled with a stroke. It's not going to be a closed path that I fill with a solid shape. But now if I use the type on path tool, and I click on that path I just drew, and I paste in airlines, it will match that shape. So let's see, maybe I like that. That does have something kind of nice about it. And then, because it's on a path, I can change that path, just like I would any drawing in Photoshop or in Illustrator, by redrawing it. If I want that curve to be more subtle. Whoops, I just flipped it on itself. As long as I draw through an anchor and end through an anchor, it should redraw that path for me. And I can try those different orientations. All right, so now, what if I want to mess with this in other ways? Well, if I right-click on it and say Create Outlines, then it's just vector shapes. And because they're vector shapes, I could add a stroke to it if I want to. And so how do you imitate bold? Well, if I think this is too thin and I want it bolder, I can give it a stroke weight of 1 point, 2 points, as many as I want. That's too much. I can make it a varied stroke which will really kind of change the feeling of it, especially because it's a script font. See? Where it goes thick and thin. And then I can really fix the L as well. Now it just has a stroke attached. So what if I want the L to kind of go like this? I want this not to be so crazy. Oops. Make sure I redraw. Go through an anchor, through an anchor. Right. So these are all ways we can really customize. And if I want to redraw the path, I have to not have created outlines. So remember, you want everything that you can do with the type tool finished before you create outlines. So that was an experiment. But I think this is more what I want for my idea. So let me move it into place. Let me move on to a new layer, the airline part. So I can keep that A I'm going to modify later out of it. And let's try. So there's certain things we can do. For one, what if I wanted to cut out the top of the L from the D? We have all kinds of options like this. This is what Illustrator is designed for. I can make a duplicate of it, of the ELD layer. Nope, that's not it. Where is that? Right here. So I unlock it, select it, copy it, Command C, and then edit, paste in place. Then turn off one of those layers. Whoops. Before I paste in place, create a new layer. Now paste in place. All right, so that's the gray layer. Turn off the one underneath, and now I'm going to select that. I'm also going to duplicate my airlines layer. Copy. New layer. Edit, paste in place. This is just to show you the different options. Now if I hold down Command, select both of those copied layers, I can use Pathfinder to cut one away from the other. But I want to cut away, let's see, yes, this from this. Oh, I need to create outlines first to be able to do that. Won't do it just as text. So what do? I go to the Move tool, I just right click on it and say Create Outlines. So now I should be able to cut this away from this using Pathfinder and excluding. See, that's kind of nice. Connects the two, makes them feel like they're both considered. Yeah, I like that. So now I have that as just one layer. And my A is still separate, still needs to be modified. Just let me fix the A. And then I think I'm pretty much done with the black logo type. So to fix the A, first I'm going to fix it on this side. And what did I decide? I decided to use the Pen tool features. Delete this anchor point entirely. Straighten that out. I think that's actually maybe enough. So let me go to the other A. I want to delete this anchor entirely. Oh. And then straighten this out. Okay, now I want to move this one to line up with that E. Okay, now, and then I want to